Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet. Today, the unsolved mysteries meander, let's just call it that, associated with a topic that's relatively near and dear to my heart. So, folks who may watch Forensic Files on YouTube, I think there's one specific Forensic Files episode where the murder suspect, the murderer in this case, was a heavy player of Dungeons & Dragons and had developed a particular fixation on brunettes. And for this reason, the playing of Dungeons & Dragons and the fixation on brunettes caused this particular fellow to be a murderer.
He spent most of his time reading pornography and playing fantasy games like Dungeons & Dragons.
We have encountered numerous people, particularly people in somewhat unusual murders like this, who are either devotees or dabblers in the Dungeons & Dragons game. There may be some connection between that type of role-playing game that need to live in a fantasy world.
And what strikes me as beautiful through this is, now Dungeons & Dragons, for me at least, is so passé. I play it at work. The whole notion that this was a satanic thing at one stage, that this was curious and outlandish and worthy of public scorn, it just reminds me so fondly of my childhood, when playing these games made you instantly into a miscreant, and, well, that's all that really can be said about that. Unsolved Mysteries is peppered with people who mysteriously started playing Dungeons & Dragons and then became Satan worshippers, started doing animal sacrifices, all these beautiful things that I just don't associate with the D&D game. It strikes me as the antithesis of, nerdism to start sacrificing animals. They talk about goats specifically. Just extraordinary. The nature of causation between playing Dungeons & Dragons, Satan worshipping, and all that it entails. I think the thing about Dungeons & Dragons was that it was just such a huge phenomenon. It impacted millions of people in the US, as is well evident when you hear the early creators of Dungeons & Dragons talk about the impact this game had on the world. And, a few people, a small number, a tiny number, who end up becoming Satan worshippers, end up killing or end up being killed. And yet the media loves to focus, at a particular point in time at least, on these Dungeons & Dragons folk and how mysteriously they were always part of something evil and untoward. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.